Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Mindful Knitter podcast. My name is Claire and I am your host. Welcome so much to all new and returning viewers. I am so happy to have you here with me to hang out for a little while I talk about yarn and knitting and all sorts of good things. So welcome and thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. If you're new, this is a podcast. We're talking about vlogs later, but we're not there yet. Patience. This is a podcast and a channel that is primarily about knitting, as you can probably imagine from the title, but I do talk about other yarn related things, and other life things, here and there. But mostly we stay on topic with the yarn. We also have a strong mindfulness component as well, as you could imagine from the title. Again, I aptly named it. I am a yoga teacher, and in my career as well, I incorporate a whole lot of mindfulness, meditation, mind-body medicine and practices. So it is a very large part of my life and it's a part of my knitting. So I needed it to be part of my channel and I wanted to be able to share that with all of you. So again, welcome. I'm happy that you're here. A little bit about me as well. I know a lot of people like to know where people are. So I'm not just like a random stranger on YouTube. I guess I'm still a random stranger on YouTube, but less so. So I do live in the southeast of the United States with my husband, Alex, and our two Great Danes, Murphy and Nolly, and my very antisocial hamster, Crema. I wonder if maybe I should do a short video at some point showing you guys the creatures. Is that something you'd be interested in? Do you want to see my Danes and my hamster? Let me know in the comments if that's something that you would like. I like to see people's pets, and the way I kind of have my setup, you don't really see them organically in the videos, so I'd be happy though to make the short video that has my creatures in it if you'd like to meet them. But yes, so places that you can find me besides, you know, the YouTube. I am fairly active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is the.mindfulknitter. And I'm also on Ravelry, and it's the Mindful Knitter Pod. Or maybe it's Mindful Knitter Pod. I can't remember. You'd think I would know. I'll have it linked though in the description. I link these things in the description. So that you don't have to take my word for it when I have a brain erasure on video. But some sort of variation of the Mindful Pod on Ravelry. And we do have a group that is associated with the podcast, and it is the Mindful Knitter, or the Mindful Knitter podcast. Again, it'll be in the description. I historically am not the best with social media, so remembering these things is not my strong suit, but they do exist, and I will put them in the description so you can find them and hang out with us on Instagram and Ravelry. So, also, I noticed there's more than 200 subscribers to the channel. What is happening? This is amazing. I'm so happy and so excited. And I just feel so incredibly grateful that you guys want to subscribe to my channel and that you enjoy hanging out with me. Maybe as much as I enjoy hanging out with you. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful and happy to have you on as part of my channel community. I don't really have people in my life who are knitters, or really even crocheters or who play with yarn. So it's really awesome to be able to chat with you guys and rant at you with these videos about yarn. So thank you. And you know, more so even maybe than the subscribing, I love reading your comments, and I try to reply to as many of them as I can. I'm a little behind on my replies. It has been a week, week and a half really. But I'm gonna try to catch up with all of those because I like to make sure that I respond to all your guys' really wonderful comments. Thank you so much for sharing your knitting, like little bits of your knitting journey, for your like beautifully kind comments about the channel and the videos, and your lovely compliments about my knitting. I just appreciate it so much more than I can possibly express. So thank you so much for that. I'm just so grateful to have you guys to share all of this with. It is enriching my life. So, okay, I'll stop freaking out about that. But hooray, over 200 subscribers. And you know, I kind of wonder, I like the idea of like mile marker. I like the idea of mile marker giveaways. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I don't know if like giveaways are a thing that I could maybe do. But I kind of like the idea of that. I think it's kind of fun. I also kind of like the idea of like yarn swaps, and things like that. And I definitely want to do make-alongs or knit-alongs at some point. So I kind of got that on my mind. If you guys want to share your thoughts about that, I'd be really curious to see. I don't know if you have so many make-alongs and so many swaps, and so many giveaways that like you just don't want anymore or don't need anymore, or if that's something you like want that would make your life happier and more exciting. So let me know. And if you have themes, I love themes, so that would be glorious. Anyway, so thoughts about that. So yes, that's the channel. That was, you know, 7.5 minutes of me ranting about what our channel is. So I'll get on to the content for today. Today we are covering some finished objects, so works in progress, and then I'm going to be traveling to Wisconsin soon, so I am going to share with you guys some of my travel knitting ideas for that, and ideas about maybe a travel vlog. So stick around for that if you're interested. So first off, I always start with finished objects. If you saw the last episode or the episode before, one of the previous episodes, also, look how cute this notebook is. This is what I am keeping my show notes in for myself now. I'm so organized. I'm not always this organized. Well, I take that back. I'm actually a fairly organized person. So maybe I shouldn't down myself. But isn't that cute? I actually found this little set. There's another one that goes with it. And then there's a third one that's also very cute. This is Cavallini or Cavallini Papers and Company. So it's very cute. I like this little set. And I just got it at like an art shop. I think I got it at an art shop in Nashville. I can't remember the name of it though. Sorry. Anyway, that's where my show notes are in. I know people like stationery and things like that, so I thought I'd share that with you. And everyone loves bees, especially honeybees. But bumblebees are pretty great. The way that they bumble about and they sleep in flowers and they hold each other's feet. There's a meme on the internet somewhere of, you know, explaining, it shows two bees inside of a flower taking a nap and they're holding each other's feet. And apparently this is a thing that bumblebees will do when they sleep. What did we do to deserve glorious creatures like bumblebees? I don't know, but I feel blessed. So if you were watching one of my previous videos, might have been the last one, I mentioned that I was knitting Alex some things for his upcoming fishing trip in New York. And so he requested from me to knit him a pair of fishing gloves and a pair of socks. He wanted wool, and he wanted them to, you know, be good warm socks for fishing in the very cold rivers in New York for salmon. So my finished object is the gloves, and I gave you guys a sneak peek last week. I think it was last week I gave you a sneak peek. So with the yarn, well, I'll just tell you a little before I show them to you. There's no pattern for these. I 100% made these up. I've never knit mittens or gloves or anything. I didn't even Google a reference. I just kind of was like, hands are shaped kind of this way, and I've knit socks before, so it should be roughly the same idea. And then I just kind of went for it. So he had very specific specifications that he wanted from his fishing gloves. And so based on what he wanted for his fishing gloves, I'll put one on. These are too big for me. These are too big for me. He's a bigger person than I am. But this is what he wanted for his fishing gloves. Can we see this? So I'll give you a little tour around what we got here. So you can see I added, oh, you cannot see that. Maybe you can kind of see that. Let's look on the other one. So on the other one, you can kind of see I added these little arrows because he just wanted these to be plain black, and I was like, that's boring. I'm adding decorative bits to it. So I just added these little arrows, just a little, you know, just like a garter stitch, and like a little, it creates like a little texture on the stockinette. You can't see it super great in this light, but maybe I'll get a good picture of these to put on Instagram, and you can see it a little bit better. And I'll try to remember to upload them onto Ravelry as well. I am not the best at remembering to put my projects on Ravelry. I probably have 1/3, if that, of my projects uploaded to Ravelry, but I'm trying to remember. Because I do, you know, I know that people like to see that, and I'd love to share it with you guys. So I'm trying to be better about remembering. But he wanted these to be fairly long-ish. They're longer on me than they are on him because I am smaller than he is. And he wanted these two fingers to be covered. So we've got, you know, 2 fingers, but then he wanted these fingers to be free. He did want something in between these fingers to make sure this didn't fold down. So that was fine. That was easy to do. I did that. But yeah, this is what he wanted for salmon fishing. So I made them according to his specifications. So I guess a little bit about how I did this. I did this on US 3 DPNs for the body of the glove. And then the fingers I knit on size 1.5 DPNs. And I didn't hold the fingers double. Those are held normal, singly. And yeah, I just kind of, you know, measured his wrist and then his hand. And I think I measured his forearm as well. And I kind of, you know, based on how I do socks, I just kind of converted those numbers in my head to about what I thought the stitch count should be. And then I kind of just measured it on him as I went, same with the fingers, and worked out well. So this is what we got. And then for this little bit right here, I just crocheted. I just like crocheted a chain and then just continued to, like, you know, I just added the crochet across so that we've got this little like flappy thing. I don't know what you would call that. I have no idea what you would call that, but yeah. So these are his New York salmon fishing gloves. Oh, and the yarn that I used, it was Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering in the macadam colorway. So it's this lovely, you know, it's this lovely black with variegated with some gray and some like nice tealy, like a nice teal kind of color. But yes. So these are his salmon fishing gloves. And I'm pretty pleased actually with how they turned out. Yeah, pleased. They fit him great. The yarn did soften up after it was washed and blocked. And it relaxed very nicely. It fluffed up, relaxed, got softer. So the hawthorn fingering is not particularly soft as is when you get it out of the package, but it does become softer, more supple. It becomes kind of nice after you block it. It feels very sturdy too. Like it feels like a hard wearing yarn. It's made out of Highland wool, not merino wool. And then I think it's a 75 Highland, it might be 80% Highland merino or Highland wool. I don't remember. But it's got nylon in there too, because is it 100% Highland? Please don't quote me on this. This is easy to Google though, if you're interested. This information is available on the internet, but it's not merino, so it's not super soft, but it's sturdy and it's soft enough for gloves, especially for salmon fishing gloves, because he wanted something kind of sturdy. And it makes a nice thick kind of fabric. So these are his gloves. I am pleased with them, and they're living in my project bag. My Chestnut Fibres cat project bag with its cute liner and its accent pocket. I love this project bag. It is just charming. Look at the zipper pull. Behold, I am a Siamese cat. I am eating your yarn. Charming. So it smells like sheep. So nice. Yeah, when I got this, it came with a little DPN holder. So cute. So yeah, Chestnut Fibres on Etsy. And so the other part of my project is his socks. So this yarn is Nanette Wake Studio, also on Etsy. This is one of hers as well, Nanette Wake Studio. I don't know if that's going to focus, but she's also on Etsy. Since I'm holding up this other yarn, this is her lace weight baby Surrey alpaca and silk yarn. This is not a colorway that's on there anymore. It's called Tiptoe into Fairyland, and this is a luxurious, beautiful yarn. I kind of lost my cool a little bit when I did my unboxing video. So I kind of raved about it a little bit, but with good reason, because it's pretty great. I'm very excited to use that for a project. In any case, this is Nanette Wake Studio yarn. If you've seen the other videos, you know this is the third green yarn that I got for these socks. He wanted black for his gloves and he wanted green for his socks. And I went through two different other yarns before I finally ordered Nanette Wake Studio, which I probably just should have done in the first place. And this is her drab green, drab olive. I could have just shown you this. I forgot I put it in here. Olive drab. This is her olive drab colorway. Again, I don't know if she still has this in the shop, but she has lovely yarn. It's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And it's beautifully soft and squishy, and it washes up great. It fluffs up nicely, but it doesn't change size hugely, but it does fluff up in the wash. I've only hand washed them so far, and I haven't had any bleeding with any of her yarn that I've gotten, which has been nice. So I am knitting these on 1.5 DPNs. If you saw my last video, I discussed a little bit the 1.5 versus 1 US size DPNs for sock knitting. And maybe I'll revisit that maybe in my next video. I'm still trying to see how those wear, but I think I am leaning towards knitting a size down in my sock patterns and knitting them on 1.5s, because the size 1, the US size 1 DPNs with the correct size for sock patterns is giving me socks that fit great when I put them on, but they get a little floppy as I'm wearing them. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I also needed to knit these quickly for him. So I am doing them on the 1.5s to just speed it up a little bit. But yeah, so this is the yarn all balled up. I think it's beautiful. We've got little flecks of copper, and then it is variegated with like a steel blue kind of color. And then we got kind of like this tonal green. It's really, really beautiful and so soft. This is how it's knitting up so far. I've just got my cuff done. Now I'm about to start on the leg of the sock, and hopefully I can get these done quick. But yeah, this is knitting up nicely, and I love to work with hair yarn because it's so soft. It feels so great on the fingers. But that is, yeah, this is Alex's knitting or fishing knitting stuff, and I'm happy that those are going to be going fishing with him soon. So let's see, that's the only finished object I have. I know I showed you the cardigan I was working on last week. That is definitely not done yet because it has just been a very busy week. I am almost done with one of the sleeves. I just have maybe an inch or two left for that, and then I've got the other sleeve. So I will probably not have that done in time for Wisconsin, but that's okay. That's okay. I will have it for the rest of fall and for the winter, so that's all right. It is not the end of the world. I wanted to have it done. You can probably sense my disappointment, but it's all right. I will be able to wear it for a great many years to come. So if I don't get to wear it for this one trip, that's fine. So other works in progress. Actually, that's it. I've got the socks and then my cardigan. I've still got to knit that other sleeve, and I don't have it with me because I have so many other things with me for today's episode. But it is in my last episode, so if you're curious and you haven't seen episode 3, you can check it out because I've got that cardigan on there. That is another design that I made up, so I'm sorry I can't give you a design if you wanted to make it. All right, so that's our works in progress, and I need to drink some water. Now, on to acquisitions. So acquisitions is fun this week, I think. I've got all kinds of stuff. So the first acquisitions that I'll show you guys have to do with socks. Surprise! I'm really into socks lately. But I am starting my holiday knitting. So since I've been so into socks, some family and friends have requested socks for Christmas presents. And so I have, gotten their measurements, and I have asked about colors that they want. And these are the fruits of those questionings. So for my little brother, he requested good socks to lounge in. And he said that his lounge wear tends to be grayscale. So like blacks, and then all sorts of grays. So I was like, okay. So he was like, something that goes with that. I was like, all right. So I got him the Stroll fingering yarn. I've used Stroll fingering before and had a really great experience with it. I really like it. It's not as soft as Nanette Wake Studio, but nothing is. So it's pretty soft though. I really like this yarn. It's squishy and it's soft, and it softens up when you wash it as well. So this is this train station tonal. It's 100 grams. So yeah. And it's this nice variegated gray and black. Yeah, and it's just straight up grays and blacks. So I think that'll be good for his socks. And yeah, it's soft and it's squishy and I like it. I think it's nice to work with. The second one that I got is for his wife, so my sister-in-law, and she wanted socks that were going to be, comfortable, soft-ish, but she wanted ones that were machine washable because they have babies, so she didn't want to deal with hand washing. This does say it's machine washable. It is superwash merino. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it says machine wash cold, tumble dry low. And to my knowledge, people have had pretty good experiences putting Knit Picks Stroll in the washing machine. So he should be able to machine wash his socks too, but he said he didn't mind hand washing. But Patton's Croix is supposed to be really good for washing in the washing machine. I knitted myself a pair of Patton's Croix socks to test that out before I did my holiday knitting, but I have not gotten to test that out yet. You know, mostly because I just keep forgetting. So that's just my fault. I have no excuses for that. But we forget because life is complicated and busy, so that's all right. But this is the sock yarn that I got for his wife. So Patton's Croix FX. And this is in the Celestial Colors colorway. You can't see that at all. Okay, there we go. Maybe you can see that, okay. And this came in a pack of 2, so it's 100 grams, because this is 50 grams, so the pack has 100 grams. And, you know, previously on, I think it was episode 2, when I was talking about all of my socks, you know, I shared these, my Woodsy Blue Jay socks. These are Patton's Croix colorway Route 66, and then I added contrast toes and heels. And this is not soft yarn. It's not terrible. It is not the most rustic yarn the world's ever known, but it's not soft. So I was hesitant to knit people gift socks out of it because I want people to have nice soft hand knit socks if they're gonna get hand knit socks. So I was hesitant, but this is softer than this. So I don't know if maybe it's a difference between Patton's Croix sock and Patton's Croix sock FX. I'm not really sure. But the description for this is luxuriously soft. That is an overstatement. I would not say these are luxurious, but they are softer. So that's nice. And the colors look really nice. This is supposed to knit up like an ombre. So I'm excited to see what that'll look like. But on that note, somebody messaged me or left a comment on one of the videos, and they said that Patton's Croix gets softer as you wash it. So, you know, in all transparency, these have not even been blocked, which you might be able to tell with their floppiness. So I don't actually know what these feel like after being in the water. These might fluff up and soften up very nicely. But a lovely viewer commented and said that that Patton's Croix sock does get softer as you wash it. So let that not deter you. This might be perfectly fine. And they're supposed to be very sturdy, and it certainly makes a very like sturdy, thick fabric. I knit these on, it was either US 1.5s or US 2s, because it's like a sock or like a sport weight for this one. This is, I don't know if I would say sport weight for this. The Patton's Croix FX for the Celestial Colors, I would, sport seems a little strong. Well, maybe like a heavy fingering bordering on a sport weight, because it looks bigger than the Stroll. Yeah, I think it's bigger than the Stroll. We'll find out. I'll let you know how it goes. But yeah, so these are my acquisitions for sock yarn, and I've got some gift knitting going on, just in general, because I'm knitting my husband his fishing gear, and then I'm knitting socks for Christmas. I think I'm going to do a gift knitting episode at some point. Yeah, and I think that'll be good. So those are those things. I feel like I'm very rambly. I need a snack. I can get a little hypoglycemic, and then my words get kind of hard, and I haven't eaten in several hours, so I probably need a snack. I should plan for that before filming these episodes in the future. So I will keep that in mind. The other acquisition I have to share with you, I I'm very excited. So this one also kind of segues into my yarn chat for today. So this acquisition is, you can see, it's the We Are Knitters. If you aren't familiar with this company, they are a yarn company. They've also got patterns, but they share these kits, or they sell these kits. I guess they share them too, but you have to pay for them to get them shared to you. And yeah, so We Are Knitters is a company that sells kits that you can also just buy their yarn or just buy their patterns. And they don't just have knitting things. They also have crochet, weaving, I think, is it the punch embroidery? Something. It's a new thing that I was not formerly familiar with. It's a punch needling? I don't know. Again, you could Google this thing. I'm imagining like trying to Google this and immediately I see this cartoon picture in my mind of two skeins of yarn like punching each other. That's not what it is. It's something about, it's sort of like embroidery, but it's a little different. My description doesn't make sense. But they also have embroidery on there. And I think macrame as well, perhaps. It's a cool company, and they've got these kits. And so I've been wanting to try them out for a while, and I finally bought a few kits while they had an anniversary sale going on. And one of the things I like about their kits is they have them organized on their website by skill level. And so they've got like beginner, like garter stitch dishcloths kind of beginner, like your first project kind of things. And then I think easy, it might be like first projects, beginner, easy, intermediate, like advanced perhaps, but something like that. And so you can search for kit by difficulty level. And I think too, in the descriptions of the kit, they do share like what kind of skills are going to be involved. So because it's, you know, a little arbitrary, the difficulty rating system for knitting is a little arbitrary, because some people will say like color work is an advanced or an intermediate technique, and other people are like, that feels kind of like a beginner thing to just switch different yarns. Like that doesn't feel like an intermediate thing. You know, but other people are like, no, that's an intermediate thing because you have all of these things you do in your beginner or easy category. So, or lace. Some people will say like lace is an intermediate skill, and other people will say like it's an advanced skill. So it's a little arbitrary. It's just kind of generalized grouping. So I like that they also put in there the different skills. So you can kind of see like based on your comfort level, you know, whether it's something you've already done a lot of and you want to challenge yourself some more, or if it's something you haven't done and it feels like an exciting new adventure. So enough about that. Cool company. This is the kit that I got, or one of the kits that I got. And I'm also going to be bringing this with me to Wisconsin as part of my travel knitting. I'm not knitting a sweater on the plane. I just gave away what it is. It's a sweater! Behold! So this is the Arts sweater, and you can see it has all the information on here. So it's a beginner level sweater because I have never knit a sweater using a pattern before. The sweaters and the cardigans that I've knit thus far have all been stuff that I've just made up. So I wanted to try something really easy for a pattern since I don't have very much practice at all following the patterns. I really have very, very little. I've used 1 or 2 patterns in my entire life, and they were both exceedingly simple. So I needed to, or I at least wanted to start out simple. So this is a beginner level, and it includes all the yarn that you need, and you can choose the color that you want on their website when you're making your kit. And it has the pattern in here. It'll include the needles if you want it to include the needles. They can give you straight needles or circular needles. I opted for no needles in my kit because I have plenty of needles. I did not need more. And then it has like a little We Are Knitters WAK. How would you say it? It's WAK. WAK? WAK. I don't know, it has the We Are Knitters tag. And then a sewing needle, which it calls a little sewing needle. Too cute. So, shall we look at the yarn? So, I got this delightful little mauve-y kind of color. And I think this is called spotted mauve or speckled mauve or something of that nature. And it's got five skeins of this stuff. This is called the petite wool. All of their different yarns have names, and this is the petite wool. I don't know if you can see the specifications on there. But it feels nice. It's not super soft, but it feels nice. It'll feel perfectly good on as a sweater, and I imagine it will soften up and fluff up after it is blocked. So recommends a US 11 for these babies. And so we've got our delightful yarn in here, and then we've got this envelope of secrets, which won't be secret for much longer because we're about to break it open. So we've got the pattern book, which is very sweet. I'm glad that it has a pattern book. Some people are switching over to digital patterns, but I'm happy that they've got like the book in here. I like the idea of the paper copy. Especially since I'm not used to reading patterns. Just for some reason, this feels more comforting to me. I don't know. We've got this little bonus of stickers, which is so cute. I think a lot of people like stickers. That's pretty cute. Yeah, I like the sheep and the cat. I didn't see the cat. How goofy. Yeah, and then we have the little needles, which is real great to have a tapestry needle and then like a little sewing needle. And then they give you this little fabric little tag to sew into your finished project, which I think is very cute. Goodbye, tag. Proudly handmade by myself. So proud. Yeah, so that is what is in the little project kit, which I think is super cute. I love that idea that you've got everything that you need right there. And I'm very excited to make this arts sweater. So it's kind of, you know, like a loose flowy kind of sweater, which is great for me. I don't like to wear fitted things. I like freedom. So I'm very excited to start that on my trip. And so on that note, oh, and with that, you know, project bag that I'll probably be putting that in is my Stitchy Girl Studio Knitting Kittens bag. Oh my gosh, I lost it in my, I think it was my first video where I was sharing this bag with you guys. Yeah, so we've got the pocket, which is a double pocket. You've got this bigger one, and then you got like a smaller one on this side. You've got the detachable little wrist strap, which is excellent. Yeah, and it's a Stitchy Girl Studio, and she is on Etsy. So this is probably, this is my largest project bag right now. I probably should get some larger project bags, or at least one. But I think, you know, I'm not gonna knit that whole sweater while I'm there, so I can probably fit a couple skeins of yarn in here. There's a bug. What are you? Intruder. What are you? Oh, I don't think you're a bug that we actually want. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put you outside later because that I don't think is a bug we want in our yarn. It's not a moth. I don't think it's a silverfish. The name isn't coming to me on the top of my head, but I think this is a fiber eating bug, so we don't want him. But yes. This is the project bag that it will live in. Delightful. And with that kind of idea, I wanted to share other kind of knitting traveling ideas that I had. So I'm going to be bringing that to knit on. And then I'm also going to be bringing probably a pair of socks. Very likely these for my sister-in-law. For knitting on the plane. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of play around with this a little bit before I go to see like what size needles maybe I need for these. It probably says on here, show me your secrets, US 2. So yeah, I'll probably bring these on the plane and knit these because that'll be a fairly quick, easy knit. And I like the idea of knitting socks on the plane because they're not going to take up a lot of space in my limited airplane seat space. And I don't think that I'll have a problem with security bringing wooden DPNs on a plane and like teeny tiny scissors. I feel like that shouldn't. And I might actually just bring like nail clippers to snip the yarn. If I need to snip the yarn, I really shouldn't even have to because I'm not doing contrast anything with these. I think I'm just gonna knit them straight. And the flight is not very long, so I don't think I'm not gonna finish those on the plane probably. But yeah, those are the things I'm bringing to knit. I might bring my cardigan too to see if I can finish the sleeve because I don't know how much knitting I'm going to be doing while I'm there. So if I've got like a lot of time to knit, I feel like I could, I mean, that's a pretty chunky kind of sweater. So I feel like I could potentially finish that sweater and those socks. I'm going to be there like a week. So I could probably finish my cardigan too, but I don't know. I might have very little time. I don't know what all activities we have planned. So I might just bring those two things to knit with me. But as far as other knitting related things for travel, I'm also bringing some things that I've already knit because it's not cold where I live. I say that. It was like 40 something degrees this morning. So I actually got to wear this guy. He was in my last episode and I said it hadn't been cold enough. It was cold enough this morning. 100% it was cold enough this morning. But I got to wear him this morning and I'm going to bring him to Wisconsin with me because I think this will be a great little cowl to bring for warmth. This is wool primarily, and then my little accent is an acrylic. So this is one thing I'm going to bring. Cowls I think are great for traveling because they are super easy and fast. Like I just flipped it on. Like it takes no effort. And it doesn't take up very much room in my suitcase. Like I don't really have to do any folding. I just kind of do that and it's done. So cowls are awesome to travel with. And this guy is pretty warm because he's chunky wool. So pleased about that. That's that bad boy. And then I'm also going to be bringing this lace cowl with me that's a little seamed in. This is my lace cowl that I knit this summer while I was at the beach. And this is out of cotton. This is, the colorway is, no, the type of yarn is Summer's Kiss. The colorway is Earl Grey. I'm not remembering the yarn company. It's like it's a larger company though, so like it's not like an indie dyer type thing. I'm just not remembering. I'll link it though. I'll put it in the description. And then this is a pattern this was the first pattern I ever followed. And it's a YouTube tutorial. So I will put that in the description as well for you guys. Because this was a very, very easy lace knit. This is the first time I have ever knit lace. And it was great. It blocked out big. So, and I've heard that, and it kind of makes sense logically that, you know, when you block lace, it expands. This expanded quite a bit. So I really like it. Blocked out, but it's made out of cotton, so this will be a nice way to feel autumnal in Wisconsin on days where maybe it is a little bit warmer. It's supposed to be fairly chilly while I'm there, but just in case there's a warmer day, but I still want to feel like I've got, you know, something autumnal on, I can throw on my lace cowl. So yeah, I'm excited about bringing this with me as well. And then my final hand knit that I'm bringing with me on my journey is my autumnal cowl that I shared in my last video. This is so soft. This is so soft, you guys. I'm not gonna go through all of everything about this, about this shawl. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different yarns. And there's no pattern. This is something I made up. But if you're interested in more of the details about this shawl, it is in episode 3 where I talk about my autumnal knits. And yeah, so I'm going to be bringing this with me as well. I don't think I thought about bringing it on the plane, but I think I'm just going to wear like a cardigan. Again, it's not a very long plane ride. It's just like 4 hours maybe. So like, I don't need tons and tons of layers. I think I'm just going to wear like a long sleeve shirt and then a cardigan over it. That might be it. I might bring like another not hand knit scarf with me, because another problem is I don't want to put this in my bag and it get caught on a zipper or something like that while I'm trying to hurriedly pull it in and out on this in security, or like on the plane in this tiny space. It might get snagged on something, so I just don't want to mess with that with my hand knits. I might just bring like a scarf that I just like bought. But I do plan to wear this like out while I'm there. And I like shawls because of their versatility. This is a very, you know, like thin one, but it is wool, so it's pretty warm. It actually feels really nice today because it's cold today, or it's a little chilly today. But you know, one thing I like about this is I can wear it, you know, as like a wrap shawl, or you can kind of wear it as like a scarf as well. So, well, that looks goofy AF. But you know, I can, you know, style it to where it's like a very like fluffy kind of shawl. And I love all the different colors because I can, you know, choose for different colors to be more prominent, depending on like, you know, what I'm wearing. Or so this is just a really cool, I don't know, this is a really cool shawl. I'm glad I stuck with it. I started this like a year ago and, you know, took a long break from it because it was taking a million years of garter stitch. And then I, you know, didn't really know what to do for the ends and the border. I ended up crocheting all this stuff. This is a shawl I made up as I went. I just played with yarn and the shawl appeared. So yeah, like I really love the edge, how the crocheted edge came out. I made the tassels. I linked the tutorial for these tassels in my last video. So yeah, I'm just really pleased with how this shawl came out. I'm really glad I stuck with it and finished it up in time for fall this year. But yeah, so I'll be taking this with me. It'll get some good use while I'm in Wisconsin. And I'm so excited and pleased. So these are my knits that I'm going to be taking along on the trip. Yeah. So other things about traveling and knitting. This episode is long, but we're getting close to the end actually. Which you can probably see because you can see the time going on the bottom of the video as you go. Because that's how recording and uploading and time travel works. So, you know, an idea about, well, I guess other things about like travel knitting. Like I said, I've got my bigger knitting project that I'm gonna have like while I'm there, and then I've got my sock knitting project that I'll have on the plane. The sock knitting project will also be good while I'm, you know, out and about traveling. I've got a purse that I specifically bought because it has compartments and it fits a sock or small knitting project in it, so that I can take my knitting with me everywhere I go. So I'll have that purse with me, and I can take my socks with me wherever I go. So that's going to be how I kind of transport my knitting around and kind of my plan for knitting. These are my hand knits I'm going to take with me. And then I'm also planning on knitting, or I'm sorry that my words are difficult. I think I am a little hypoglycemic right now, like low blood sugar. So I probably need to have a snack before I get back to work for the evening. Words. Oh, I'm planning on traveling or visiting some local yarn shops while I'm there, at least one. And, you know, I like the idea of getting souvenir skeins or souvenir yarn. I saw somebody, it might have been a book I read about sock knitting, and she was saying that that's something she does when she travels. Instead of buying other types of souvenirs, she gets a skein of yarn, you know, preferably from like a local artist or indie dyer, and she really likes it when they are colorways that are kind of, you know, memorial of or souvenirs of that area, or that city, or, you know, what have you. So she gets souvenir skeins, and I really love that idea, and I think I'm gonna try to do that for my travels. She says sometimes she uses them for projects, and that can be fun. And every time she wears that project, she remembers her trip to that place. And other times she just keeps the skein for, you know, years or forever. And just whenever she sees that skein, she remembers that place. And, you know, all the memories from that trip that she took. So I like that idea. People do that with other types of souvenirs where they collect spoons or shot glasses and stuff, and they maybe never use them. They're just on display. So why can't we do that with yarn? You know, a lot of us have stashes that we like have on display. So I feel like that's a cool idea to do for souvenir yarn. So I'm going to be doing that while I am traveling. I keep snagging. This is really loose garter, which you can kind of see. And so my bracelet has like a little like claspy thing on it, and it keeps snagging. So I'm going to scooch these off my lap, even though they're keeping me nice and warm. But a question that I had, no, actually I'll save that for questions and answers. But I am thinking about doing a vlog while I am traveling. So I'll do that real quick after the next couple sections. No, after the next section. It's mindfulness section. So the thing, so today's mindfulness segment, and I'm so sorry, I recognize that I'm just not talking correctly, and it is because I have low blood sugar, and I just apologize for that. That was poor planning. I should have had a snack or something beforehand. So future videos, I will have normal blood sugar, and I will talk coherently. But my mindfulness segment for today was around the idea of knitting for other people, whether it's gifts or things that they have asked you to knit for them, or things that they are like paying you to knit for them. The idea is like intention. So practicing mindfulness while knitting by kind of almost infusing intention into the knitted items. You know, so I'll give you some examples of this. When I'm knitting things for people, I am thinking about the person while I'm knitting, and I am often thinking like good things about them, and thinking like kind, warm things, because I know I'm knitting this item for them, and I have a lot of hopefulness that they will like it, hopefulness that it will bring them happiness, or that it will bring them warmth or comfort, that it will make them feel cared about and loved, because they know somebody who cared about them knit this just for them. You know, the lace cowl, I had a friend who commissioned, I knit one for her just a month or so ago. And so as I was knitting it, I was thinking about just her and our friendship, and just hoping that she would feel cared about when she wore it. And, you know, the whole time I'm knitting this cowl, I'm thinking all these things and hoping and wishing all these things. And I'm kind of like intentionally infusing these intentions or well wishes or love into this cowl for my friend. So when she gets it, she gets an item that is just infused with these wonderful thoughts and feelings. And the same thing with my gloves for my husband, and as I'll knit him his socks, you know, I'm thinking about him on the river wearing these gloves, and I'm thinking about his hands holding his rod, you know, the river water kind of like splashing up on his hands, the salmon that he's gonna hold and get slime all over them, and how they're gonna grip nicely anyway because this nice Highland wool. And I'm just thinking about him having fun and staying warm and feeling loved and cared about as he sees these gloves that I knit for him, and he remembers that I'm there with him, and that I love him even though we are, you know, probably 1,000 miles apart at that point. Yeah, just infusing love, warmth, kindness, fun, and I'm imagining him wearing them and washing them and hanging them up at night and then taking them back down in the morning before he goes fishing. He's going to hang them up over the heater so that they dry at night while he's sleeping and dreaming about fish. And I just, you know, I infuse all of these intentions into my knitted items for the people that I'm knitting them for. And it's part of my mindfulness practice as I'm knitting for other people. I'll do it a bit for myself as well as I'm knitting items, but I do it a lot, very intentionally for when I'm knitting other things for other people. Like as I'm knitting the fingers, like I imagine, you know, these fingers are going to be kept warm. These fingers are going to be free. And it goes into little details like not wanting the edges to rub his skin and make him uncomfortable when it gets wet. You know, wanting to make this, I did a crochet cast off at the top, so this would be like a nice stretchy but like secure kind of bind off, so his hands wouldn't be like there wouldn't be any kind of constriction or tightness around his hands. So practical kind of things as well. But then a lot of just like love. I just think of it as I'm knitting love. And I think there's something to that. Like even if he doesn't know everything I put into these gloves for him, I think there's something very real about giving that to him. And he has it whether he knows it or not. So hopefully they will keep him warm and they will keep him loved. So yeah, so an idea for, especially as we come up into the holidays for a lot of people. Not everybody celebrates all the upcoming holidays, but a lot of people do. And there are a lot of birthdays around this time of year, it seems like. So as you're knitting gifts for people, or just as you're knitting for people in general, maybe infusing some loving intention and practicing mindfulness in that way as you're knitting for others, and for yourself as well. I definitely do it for myself too. But like I said, it's very, very intentional when I'm doing it for other people. So yes, so that's our mindfulness segment for this week. And now I'll get on to questions and answers. So one question that I had was around the coffee that I was drinking, I think in episode 2. Somebody wanted me to share that coffee company, and I said I'd be happy to do that. I did respond to that person's comment on YouTube, so that information is in that comment. I think it's episode 3, because I think they were asking about the coffee from the previous episode. So I think episode 3, somebody asked about the coffee, so I put the information on there. But I brought some with me today too. And you guys, this smells like happiness and wakefulness. It smells so magical. I think that these are the magic beans that Jack was bequeathed. When you bequeath something, what's the past tense? Bequoth? Who knows? English is confusing. But the company is George Howell, and I will put this in the description as well, but it's George Howell Coffee, and I brought a couple ones to show you. This is a beautiful coffee company. It's family owned. We know a couple of the family members, which is how we found out about this coffee company, and they are they create beautiful coffee. It's really tasty. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but if you like bougie coffee and you have a coffee palate that can tell the difference between nice espresso beans and coffee beans and just, you know, acceptable ones, then you'll probably really appreciate this coffee. It's very, very good. And I'm obviously not sponsored by anybody I talk about on my YouTube channel because, like, I don't think enough people watch my channel for me to be sponsored by anybody. So this is just me loving this coffee. And, you know, I am not a coffee expert, so please don't take my word as law. You might taste this coffee and be like, wow, she knows nothing about coffee and this tastes terrible. But I like coffee, and I've had a bit of coffee in my life. Again, I'm not a coffee expert, but I think this coffee is delicious. And it's, you know, we buy the whole beans, and we grind it with a cone grind. I think it's a ceramic cone grinder. I think so. Like crushes, yeah, like, well, my words again are hard. It's a nice coffee grinder. And we do use an electric one because the hand grinder was getting to be a bit too much. But it's a fairly nice electric one. And then we have a nice espresso machine. So it can actually like extract all this stuff out of these beans wonderfully. So that's probably part of it. So this, you know, each of these bags has, you know, descriptions about the different coffees. So you can kind of see that. You know, it has the elevation, when it was harvested, the different notes, you know, what method is best to use with it, kind of the different roast. This is a light roast. It's got like the region they got it from, like it's got like lots of good information on there. And then they got like more information on the back about the coffee. I don't know if that will focus so you can read it. But like this is a Costa Rica. This is my favorite one. This is the doTERRA Espresso. This is delightful. And we've got more. They have more than these, but these are just the ones I grabbed off the counter to share with you guys. Just really, really delightful. The doTERRA is from Brazil. It's from the Cerrado region. Red and yellow bourbon is the variety. And the notes are chocolate, blueberry, and hazelnut. And this is really, really delightful. I love this. The Malatapa is also good. It's from La Libertad region in El Salvador. So they give you lots of good information. It's good coffee. Small batch, family owned. My lap now smells like a barista's dream. This is just, it smells so good. I wish you could smell it through the screen. It smells really good. But it's George Howell coffee. So if you're a coffee person, I recommend this stuff. So yummy. I've lost my notes. I found my notes. So questions for you guys with this travel vlog that I'm going to be doing while I'm in Wisconsin. I thought it might be fun to try to do just some vlogs in general here and there, but in particular the travel vlogs I think would be fun because I like to watch people's travel vlogs, especially when it comes to knitting. So before I went on my trip and before I made this vlog, I wanted to ask you guys if there's anything that you would be interested in me including in this vlog. What do you think would be fun to see? What would you enjoy watching? Yeah, like what do you have any requests or suggestions for me making this travel vlog? You know, obviously I can't guarantee that I will get everybody's requests in the vlog because it just might not be possible. But if I know it's something you guys are interested in or it would make you happy to see, then I will try to put it in there for you. I've never done a vlog before, so I don't know what other people would find interesting or not. So yeah, that's my question for you. What would you like to see in a travel vlog? And I will try to get that made for you. I will try to make that happen for you. And I think that was it. yeah, that was my only question for this week because this video's gone on long enough. And thank you guys for participating in the Ravelry discussions, and then for commenting on the videos and on my Instagram posts. I really have so much fun and also appreciate you guys participating and chatting with me, because it makes me feel much less alone to have this growing knitting community. So that is all I've got for you guys this week. This is kind of a long one, so thanks for sticking around if you are still here. I am looking forward to making the travel vlog. I'm excited to be going on this trip. I'm excited to wear these knits somewhere where it is appropriate to wear knitwear, because it is still not super cold where I live. Though it's getting there. We're cooling off. But yeah, so, okay, I need to end. I will try to do so gracefully, and I'm gonna get a snack. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Please feel free to leave a comment below or on Instagram or on Ravelry. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and with sharing a little bit of knitty travel with you soon. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and happy knitting, crafting, making, or whatever it is that you love to do. I will see you next time. Bye.